Well, welcome to the Aging Boomers. I'm your host, Frank Sampson. And of course, on this show, we discuss so many of the issues facing boomers, their parents, and what, of course, we know is an aging population. And I just want to thank everybody for all their support. So many of you have, been listening to the show, making great comments. I mean, literally, we're in our tens of thousands of listeners now, so that's pretty cool. We're excited about it. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on iTunes. Of course, you could go to theagingboomers.com or go to our free app if you have an iPhone or Android phone. Just download it for free, Aging Boomers, and you'll get updated on all the shows that we do each Monday and Friday. And today's show is sponsored by Senior Care Authority, a professional senior placement and elder care management organization that has a national network of advisors to help in determining the right path for seniors in receiving proper care or even supervision. So whether it's in-home care, assisted living, residential, or memory care, get the necessary advice from a senior care advisor in your area by calling Senior Care Authority at 888-809-1231, or you could go right to their website at seniorcareauthority.com. We also, Aging Boomers, one thing I did not mention is that Aging Boomers is also on a site called Boomeon, and we're real excited about this site, and so excited that we've asked the founder and president, Bill Murphy, to join us today. Bill's is the guiding visionary of Boomeon, an online community just for baby boomers. Bill launched Boomeon just in 2014 with the belief that this generation needed a new and unique place to share, connect, and learn what was simple to use and free from the distractions of other social networks. So prior to launching Boomeon, Bill served as president and CEO of Frank J. Curran, Esquire Chemical Company, and owned both OBF Technologies and Bottom Line Marketing Group. And Bill, just want to thank you for joining us on the Aging Boomers. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's. I think it's great what you're doing. Tell me kind of how, maybe start out telling our listeners what Boomeon is, and then I'd love for you to kind of talk about how it got started. A little bit I read about it started on a paper napkin in a restaurant, I understand. So love to hear more.
Well, Boomeon is a social site that's directed at the baby boomer generation, and last year I was online looking for a place for the social network for baby boomers to gather information, and there's certain information you can find on Facebook and ARP, but there wasn't a specific site community for the baby boomer generation. And I'd see my wife and my grandchildren and children daily on Facebook, and I guess if you wanted to see kittens, that was a good place to go. Or if you want to talk about what you're having for lunch, Facebook is, even though they're a huge social site, they don't have any content specific. And so I decided to get into this social network, which is something I absolutely had no idea what was going to happen. I had an idea, and like you said, it was done on a cocktail napkin. And I just felt that with the demographics that Boomeon and baby boomers have, which is 80 million people and 10,000 baby boomers retiring a day, they needed they needed a place of their own. And with the help of a phenomenal architect in developing Boomeon, our developers have brought a significantly interesting and important site to to the baby boomers, and that is we call the Boomeon. It's Boomeon, Boomeon.com.
So how'd you come up with that name?
Well, this is going to be very interesting. I'll try and keep it short, but 2 years ago I was over on the other coast, Vero Beach. A good friend of mine I went to prep school with, and he very, very successful developer, land developer. And he was telling me that one of his best friends, even though he was a competitor, were having conversation one day, and he said to his competitor, John, how do you get baby boomers to go out and spend, $6-7 million, $2 or $3 million on a house these days with the economy the way it is? And he said, well, it's quite easy, Rick. I just tell them it's quality time remaining. So I thought about that. I brought that back to the other coast, and I'm sitting around thinking, and I thought, well, quality time remaining. That means that, we all reach a certain stage where we have a window of quality time remaining, and then the quality starts to drop. So I was going to name the site QTR, Quality Time Remaining. I did the point that I went on and trademarked it and got hats and caps. And then when I met the developer who was going to develop Boomeon for me, and I told him the name, he said, I'd love to take on the site with you, and I know I could do a good job, but we're going to have to change the name.
After you went to that expense.
We have to change the name. He says, well, you've already got one foot in the grave. No one wants to know about that. Right. So we put our hats on, and over, I don't know, probably a 2-week period, we just threw a bunch of names up in the air, and Boomer, obviously, is for baby boomers, and Eons is actually a Greek name for groups of people. So we decided to go with the Boomeon name, and although I still keep my QTR somehow inside the site, but it's a much better name. It's easier. It's easier to pronounce. It's not long, and it makes sense.
Great. So, just so people understand, it's not a social media site. It's not another Facebook or one of those. It's more an informational content site. Is that right? Or can people communicate with each other on it as well?
Well, it's a combination of a social network and content. Boomeon allows users to join Boomeon and form their own groups. When I say form their own groups, we right now have probably 300 groups, and they can range from caregiving, healthy living, alternate medicine, crafts, art, politics, fitness, goes on and on and on. And these people who have an interest in forming a group, they form a group. Somebody comes on Boomeon, and they go right to groups. They look at a group. I'm interested in design, or I'm interested in arts and crafts, so they join the group. And if they want to go out and start another group, they can start another group. So it's all about communicating within the baby boomer generation on ideas and things that interest them. Now, on the other hand, we have probably 45 of the most intellectual contributors that any site has, and these are polished experts and professionals, and they range from motivational experts, wealth management, real estate, clinical psychologists, veterinarians, doctors, lawyers, wealth management. I mean, anything that is going to affect the baby boomer or has affected the baby boomer's life, we have experts to help guide them, and they can go on Boomeon. They can go to the experts' site when they're posting their blog and ask them a question. We've even have a golf professional who teaches golf to people 55 and over. And it's you got a question about your backswing or a question about placement out of the sand, you send him a note, and he'll get right back to you. So it's a really incredible site, and we have people from all over the world who have joined the site, and we're growing daily, and it's an informational, but it's a community, and that's what we like to consider ourselves, and we consider ourselves a baby boomer community throughout the United States and the rest of the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's really rich with content, and I commend you for that. So, I mean, I just I'm on it right now, and I just clicked on health and beauty, all right? So within health and beauty, you got alternative medicine, beauty and style, caregiving, which I'll plug Aging Boomers is on that part, cranium crunches, healthcare policy, health conditions, mental health, nutrition, wellness. I mean, that's just health and beauty. And then you've got, many other various categories. So it is really rich with content, so I commend you for that. So what's kind of what's in the plans with Boomeon? I mean, what are you kind of developing it based on the input from your own? You call them members that have signed up, or how are you?
Well, there's two things that we're bringing on. Right now, we have just opened up a new network for Boomeon, and it's going to be a retirement community directory, and it will be for the entire United States. Let's just say you're 55 or 60, and you've retired, and you're looking for a place to go retire. And we've had you pick a state, say Arizona, and Arizona will drop down, and then they'll ask you what kind of retirement community you're looking for. 55 and older, no children, golf, country club lifestyle. It's about 8 or 9 drop downs, and you click on that, and then you'll get probably 25 or 30 in Scottsdale, Arizona, and that site will give you all the information you need to know on these various retirement communities. It's incredible, and that's the big kickoff we're having in probably the next. We'll be favoring that the next 2 or 3 months, and then we're projecting a dating service, unlike any of the other dating services out there, and I really can't talk too much about it yet because we've got some trademark, and we don't want to infringe on anybody, but it basically, unfortunately, in the baby boomer generation, there's a 40% rate of divorce. So there's a lot of baby boomers out there and who are looking for a dating site that they can trust, and there's a lot of baby boomers who have lost their wives or lost their husbands, and they want a safe place to meet people and possibly engage in a relationship. So that's coming probably in the next 6 months. But to answer your question, we grow based on what our users are asking us to do. And we have a management team that are actually Boomeon members who reach out to our members on a daily basis, weekly basis, and ask them what more are they interested in? What can we do to improve Boomeon? What area do they want that we don't have? So that's we are about listening to what the baby boomers want, and if we don't have a contributor that is an expert in that field, we go out and get one, and that's exactly what we've been. Why our success has been so great.
So you got to have a whole staff just making contacts with people. You got so many contributors.
It's interesting. Again, I was unaware of how the social network community, internet business before I even got into it. But there is a network of people that are out there, and they are experts in their field, and they want to write content. So it's not difficult for us to find these people. In fact, it's more difficult for us to say, no, we already have one like you. So
right.
There are people out there that want to give back to communities like Boomeon. And our staff has grown, obviously, from our first day, but we still are small. We're averaging, I'm guessing, somewhere between 1,000 members a week. And like you said, we've only been live since the 1st of January 2014.
So since you started it, what has surprised you? I mean, what has surprised you about listen, I'm a serial entrepreneur, so I understand. You put together a plan, and you do all your projections, but usually it doesn't come out exact. So what has surprised you?
Well, I guess the biggest surprise was seeing what this developer, what he could do. I visualized what I wanted. I had no idea how to get there. I spent 2 months interviewing people, and I finally had this development group, and he's put together something that just the site alone, every day I go on it, and there's something so interesting, so professional. I can't believe that this is something that I started. And I can remember when we got our first online user. I would set up, and then we'd get 2, and then we'd get 3, and then my wife and I would get 25 or 26. I thought we were just golden at 27, 28. Well, now we've got we have thousands of them now, and it's just, and we try to touch on each one of them. I have there's a blog in there that says From the Founder's Desk, which is me, and every week or two I will send a message out to our users, either a thank you for joining us, or I will find a specific area of, for example, Veterans Day. I posted a blog. A friend of mine who was a 3-star general, who just retired, and with all kinds of accolades, and we wrote a big story about him. So I guess the biggest surprise is the success. I knew we would be successful. I didn't know we'd be successful at the rate we are. And there's so many baby boomers out there that still aren't aware of us. But once they find us, and it's like anything else. You tell your friend, he tells their friend, and blah blah blah. And it's just the social site is a phenom as far as I'm concerned. Social network.
It's interesting because when I came across your site, having, of course, my own show called The Aging Boomers, I'm always looking at different sites. But when I came across it, and I saw the content and everything in it, I'm going, I guess I assumed that the site had been around a long time because there was so much great content on there. And I'm going, how could I not have known about this? And sure enough, I didn't, because you had just started. So as I say, I commend you. It's great, and I hope people go on it. And as you said, and again, it's Boomeon, BOOMEON.com. So when you go and you set up, you have one called it's called My Boomeon. All right, I know you touched on that earlier in the conversation, but why don't you just talk more about how someone can just, customize their own information? So give kind of some examples of that. Well,
first of all, I'd like to say that our site is absolutely free. There's no charge for joining Boomeon. We run contests once a month, and it could be a very silly contest, it could be a very serious contest, and the money that the winner receives, half goes to charitable organizations that we provide and support, which is a big thing for Boomeon. We're giving back to various illnesses such as Alzheimer's, Lou Gehrig's disease. It goes on and on and on. And we also give the opportunity for the winner, if they have their own charity, they can donate to them, and they will receive a certificate showing the money was sent to them. Now, as far as My Boomeon, once you go on the site and log in, you go to My Boomeon, and that'll direct you to all the various areas that you can log on to. And you set your profile up. So you tell people, you're telling Boomeon what groups you're interested in, what contributors you're interested in. You want to follow them. And there's a way that once you set that profile up, you go back on the Boomeon, you put in your username, and it'll pop up that, here's 3 of your experts that you want to listen to. Rather than go through all the various experts to find them, they pop right up on your site for you to read their content. Also, if you've joined 4 or 5 different groups, that's also on your profile. So once you go online, you don't have to search for all those groups. They come right up, and boom, you're right in there on your group. You start your discussion right away, and it's amazing how these people talk back and forth. It's just incredible. And these people go online every day, and it's really heartwarming, especially when you have a caregiver group together. All the stories they share about their parents or their grandparents and how they're seeing the same thing going on with them now, and it's better than a movie, and it's better than a novel. And it's what's great about it is the baby boomer generation, which is the largest demographic we have, spends more than $400 billion a year, needs a site like this because we are the strongest demographics in the United States. And we need the attention, as you said, Frank, about aging boomers, which I think is a phenomenal idea on your part, because that's a major, major thing about baby boomers, obviously, as we get older. So it's just a site. Once a person develops a My Boomeon profile, and they can expand on it, and they can do whatever they want. Actually, they can list 100 different groups. They want to spend hours on it every day, and we do have people that do that. So it's easy to navigate. In fact, we won the in 2014 we won the Web Award for the Social Network Standards of Excellence for its content design and usability, which is an award that we didn't even know we were up for it. And for a company to win that within the first year of being a startup is amazing. And again, I have to give my hats off to my developer because they're the ones that designed Boomeon, and they're the ones are the lifeblood to Boomeon along with our users.
You know what I like about it, and as well, I like your site because, like you said, it's free to people and all that. So people always say, well, then how do you make money? Well, you make money probably from advertising of some sort, but it's very clean, and it's not filled with a bunch of ads. I know sometimes you go to sites that earn their dollars from advertising, and it's just filled with a bunch of like display-looking ads. Here, it's very subtle, and so I like that about it as well. So.
Well, one of the things we decided to do, you're right, there's 2 ways social sites make money, and that's in advertising or sponsorships. And we're still very young. We do have some major advertisers, but we're running ads now through the Google. So we do have some things that come up every once in a while, and that's not only purpose for income, but it's the revenue. It's also to let our users know that Boomeon will have products that are going to be advertised for the benefit and the health of the user. And we just haven't reached that stage yet, but we will. So right now you're going to be seeing some smaller companies advertise, and we try to keep it at a minimum. We try to keep our site clean. So when you're on a contributor, you're reading an article, nothing's going to pop up on you. We've made that clear with our advertisers that we don't want that type of use of advertising on our site.
Are you planning, or do you have, maybe I'm just not aware, but are you planning an app at all for Boomeon?
I'm sorry.
An app, like an app on iPhone, or if someone wanted to just have an app on their iPhone or iPad or whatever.
Yes, we are. Currently, can go to a mobile app now and download. We've got some interesting things coming out in the future. We're looking possibly at doing a partnership with a very large faith-based company out of the Southwest that will bring a lot of charitable work for Boomeon, the users who can get involved in it. We're going to be working with cases to help with the Ebola crisis, and we want not only Boomeon to be known as a terrific content site, but also a very, very huge charitable organization to help with various crises, and again, certainly help with our generation.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been great, and I enjoy the site, and I recommend it to people all the time. So, Bill, thanks for joining us. Bill Murphy, founder and president of Boomeon. Check it out, Boomeon.com. So, thanks so much for joining us, Bill. We'll have to have you back in the future as things develop. We'd love to know more.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you as well. And thank you all for joining us. Again, go to Boomeon.com. You could also listen to our podcast on that site, as well as on iHeartRadio and on iTunes, or just go to agingboomers.com. So thanks for joining us. Be safe out there, and we'll talk to you all soon.